Hey man, my life is great. Holy shit, actually, no, it's not. I am not on the road to retirement. I'm nowhere close. I'm paying way too much in taxes. I didn't even know. I was so totally unaware. And then they become aware. And when they become aware that they have a problem, where are you going to be? So here are the top 5 ways to provide value in today's market. Y'all ready? In today's market, is very important. Number 1 is money, but listen, that seems like an obvious one, but I'm not talking about the production or the return of money. Yes, they want that. But what do they want in today's market more than anything? Not to lose it. They want to make sure they're not losing it. So how are you protecting the downside? One of your questions in there in the 12-question framework is how are you reducing the risk? And if you can't answer that with certainty and clarity, you're not playing the rule that you need to play, the rules of the game in today's world that you need to play. You need to know what that is and how you mitigate the risk. And that's such a great exercise for you to go through and define and how you do it before the deal. That's your underwriting processes, your due diligence processes, your targets, your buy box. Really, if you look at the 12-question framework, that's your buy box. That's what you're buying on the top part, at least your acquisition strategy, your buy box. How are you mitigating the risk? How do you make sure that you don't lose their money? This is what you need to go out there and be speaking about. Not all these returns, hey, those are great too. But in today's environment, one of the most valuable things you can offer investors is peace of mind, man. To let them know what you are doing that is going to protect their capital. It's loss aversion, man. Nobody wants to lose money. We have way more emotion with the loss of money than we do by the attainment and growth of money. You need to talk about the risks and how what you're doing, that you're aware of them, and what you're doing to avoid them. Make sense? So value number 1 is money. Really, it's risk. Say risk. Prevention. Say risk. Prevention. There we go. Okay. Number 2 is save them time. This is a massive mistake that I've made. How do you save them time? Yes, you're saving them time by them passively investing in your deals so that they can be a passive investor, so that they don't have to manage the property managers and do all those kind of things. Yes. But how else can you save them time? Accurate reporting. Respond, is that what somebody said? Respond to questions. How about even answering their questions and being proactive before they have to reach out? I'm just telling you, these are massive mistakes that I felt. This stuff, K1s on time. I don't think we've sent K1s out on time for now 3 years in a row. That's waste investor time worrying, do I extend? I hate that stuff. Seeing that now at this level, coming back down to base camp, being like, okay, we need to improve our systems. Shit, that's energizing. Once again, what happens at base camp when you go back down to base camp? You start to strengthen. That's why you go down to base camp. When you're up above, sometimes you start to get weak, right? You have to come back down to strengthen. That's what it is. Strengthen your system, strengthen your foundations, strengthen your processes. So man, also bandwidth, like how often do they need to reach out to the team? Like we're talking about being proactive. How often are they needing to reach out to you for questions instead of you just having accurate, regular reporting so that they get their questions answered? Once again, reporting structure. That simple thing is communication. People don't want to be left in the dark. They don't want to be left in the dark. So how are you saving them time? Okay, number 3 is make them feel seen, heard, and understood. Seen, heard, and understood. Okay. Y'all, how often do you feel seen, heard, and understood? Would you say it's a rarity? How many of you feel seen, heard, and understood this weekend? No, not by me. Well, yeah, just because we got the same name, we're pretty much the same person. I mean, yes. Okay, I see you. You're late. Well, we talked about it this morning. We're always kind of running behind, a little late, never on time. But hey, is it a unique environment you're in right now? What if we just recreated this environment with our investors, which will come to one of my values here in a second. Make them feel seen, valued, heard, understood. Like, listen, there's a problem on a deal. Sometimes when there's a problem on a deal, it's where we go silent. We don't know how to approach it. Do you know what you do? You be you. You be you. And you be clear on what it is, on what the problem is, what has happened, and most importantly, how you're gonna fix it. What's the solution? That's what it is, man. And I'm telling you, these are things that have hurt, like lessons, hard lessons that I've learned. And now, realizing where we went astray to come back to base camp. That's why all these things I'm getting very clear and very precise on to make sure that not just you know them, but my whole team knows them all the time, every time, so it's like it is clockwork on how you operate. Does that make sense? Okay. So man, make them feel seen, valued, heard, man. How do you do that? And I'll say this, let me tell you this, man. We've had some complaints with MFCP, my investment company. Any company, if you've been around long enough, you'll have complaints, I promise you. We've had complaints at MFM. Some of you have complaints. But listen, those are feedback. I don't look at those as complaints. I look at those as feedback on how we can get better. Like, I want you to understand something, because sometimes we think that our mistakes, our problems, we think that disqualifies us. It uniquely qualifies you. I want you to understand this. When we actually make our investors then feel seen, valued, heard, when we actually listen, okay, we didn't do this. This was not, something that was a great experience for you. We listen to that and then we correct that. That now becomes your superpower in communicating and connecting. Because of a mistake, and then the correction of the mistake, now that's your superpower. Do y'all see that? Don't run from it, man. Go right into the storm like a mother effing what? Buffalo. Like a mother effing buffalo. Number 4 is a perspective shift. A perspective shift. This is a big one, man. Exclusive info that creates this paradigm shift. Sometimes we think what we know, everyone knows. Nah, when you share it, that's why your drip sequence is so valuable. You think about it. By the end of that drip sequence that I showed you, top of funnel, middle of funnel, end of funnel, by the time of the end, now the decision is, who do I invest with? Well, if you've been the one to be the guide the whole way through, who do you think they're going to invest with? When you've been the guide the whole way through, who do you think they're going to invest with? You. That's who they're going to invest with, because you've guided them to be the hero. That's a powerful thing, man. That's a powerful thing. That is exclusive. That is a perspective shift for them. You've created this perspective shift for them that is very, very valuable. If you think about this, a good thing to understand as well is how human behavior works, okay? You have something called perceptual control. Perceptual control. So think of it this way. Think of a boat out at sea, okay, stormy sea. And there's a rock, a little pebble on that boat. That rock is going to go everywhere, all over the place on that boat, yes? Because it doesn't think it's out of control. It doesn't have any perceptual control, it's a rock. You on that same boat are going to grab for fucking anything to hold on to that bitch, like anything, yes or no? Because you realize that you want to be in control. Okay, so it's perceptual control. Then you have a reference level. Reference level is also very important, because unless a reference level shifts, well, then the behavior will not shift. So for example, how many of you have tattoos in here? Raise your hand. Okay, so when you were sitting down, you sat down to get this tattoo and they poked what into you? Needles with, but if you came up on the stage and you sat right here and I snuck up behind you with the needle and went bloop, right in your ass cheek, how many of you would jump by raise your hands? All of you. You'd be like, what the fuck? But you literally voluntarily do the same thing sitting down in a chair getting a tattoo. You don't jump, because you're expecting it, right? Your reference is, it's going to be this. See, we're always trying to conserve energy. So if you can change, this is really important for you to understand with human behavior. If you can change the perception level, if you can change it and help them understand also the controllables, the perceptual control, then it will inspire behavior. That's a perspective shift. That's how we shift perspective. Hey man, my life is great. Holy shit, actually, no, it's not. I am not on the road to retirement. I'm nowhere close. I'm paying way too much in taxes. I didn't even know. I was so totally unaware. And then they become aware. And when they become aware that they have a problem, where are you going to be? What's up? Y'all feel me? Okay. Then number 5 is experiences. Experiences or like a community. Okay, experiences. Maybe you bring them out on a deal and invite them to your deal to do due diligence. Okay, it's not just who you know, like just think about this, okay? Many of you have been like, man, I want you to do more of these. I wish you did more of these things. And I very much want to start doing more of these types of things, because these experiences create connection, create momentum, and create progress. Yes or yes? Yeah. So how do we do that for our investors? That's your question. How do you do that for your investors, right? Some sort of sense of community so they're not on an island by themselves.